There's a racing game out there for anybody, and Real Racing 3 is probably one of them. Or it isn't. To be honest, I've never been more confused playing a racing game until now. You either love this game or you don't. Let me explain. This game was made during a time where mobile games had actual effort put in them. Releasing all the way back in February 28th, 2013, Real Racing 3 was one of the best racing games out there. What other racing game gave you console quality graphics at that time? Like the Galaxy S4 was out. And as much as I wanted to go over the previous two games, they're available on iOS. It stands the test of time and manages to keep itself afloat for many years. And then we have now. I will say this game has one of the best tutorials ever, not because it's special or anything, but because it has a bit of charm. Over the years, it's slightly changed, but you're always a Porsche racing other Porsches. You meet the in-game characters, do the morally required horizon tilt, beat the tutorial, and move on. I just wanted to say, I think I'm soft banned from the game, because I had to download an APK just to be able to play this. Whenever I download it from the Play Store, it just crashes. Now my girlfriend that goes to another school that's from a different nation has downloaded a mod onto my phone years ago, so that might be the case, but I'm not entirely sure. The boot up is super clean, having the car you recently picked pull up, only to be greeted by this UI. Yeah, brother, what is this? This feels like 3 plus 3 plus 12 instead of 17 plus 1. Everything is just all over the place and it's really confusing, which funnily enough is kind of the premise of this game. Before I get into anything else, let me explain the currencies. So there's 3 in this game: race dollars, motorsports dollars, and gold. Race dollars is pretty much the most common in the game. It can be earned by simply playing and collecting daily login rewards. You can use them to buy cars and upgrade them as well. Gold is the more difficult to come by currency and can be earned by leveling up and logging in daily. It's supposed to make things like buying cars and upgrades more convenient since it skips wait times, but it's recommended to not spend gold if you don't need to. Motorsports dollars is exclusive to the motorsports game modes and is irrelevant outside of that. But what use is currency if you have nothing to spend it on? Which is where I'd say cars come in, but it's a little murky. So I can't talk about the cars without talking about the game modes since they intertwine in this weird way. So each game mode has a variety of series that are exclusive to a set amount of cars. Completing all of these events will unlock even more for you to play, and some races require a car, but 100%ing a series is not necessary. That being said, it's recommended that you only stick to cars that are the best among the options given to you. Every car has something called a performance rating. It pretty much just tells you how good the car is, and the number increases as you install upgrades. My first issue with this is that this automatically renders most of the cars useless. For example, in the Amateur series, the only 2 cars that actually matter is the Dodge Challenger and the BMW 1M. It just makes sense to get these cars since they have a higher PR. Unless you really wanted to 100% everything, the other 2 cars are pretty much worthless. On the other hand, like the Challenger and 1M, other cars are objectively valuable, with some having exclusive events that provide large payouts. Then there's the upgrade system. Upgrading a car varies in necessity depending on which car it is. For some events, you don't need to fully upgrade your car, and for others, it's very reasonable to do so. It's recommended to only spend gold upgrading cars that are actually worth it, like a car you're being loaned for an event where if you win, you get the car itself, and the only thing you have to pay is the upgrades. But for the most part, if you can, spending race dollars is the way to go when it comes to upgrading. All in all, when it comes to the cars itself, there's really nothing special about them. That's pretty ironic since this game has the biggest selection of cars I've ever seen. I mean, there's literally over 50 Porsches alone. There are cars you can buy for race dollars and gold, but it's generally recommended to wait for them to show up in an event. More so on cars that cost gold. And due to the limited capabilities and access for many of these cars, having a lot of them doesn't really feel special. If you're looking to progress through the game, you just have to pick through the bunch and get the ones that'll actually help you. But hey, at least there's an Altima. That is absolutely crazy being able to drive an Altima. Real Racing 3. Rated number 1 by the hood. There's also this weird thing with the paint. Each color costs 2 gold unless you max the car out, then it's all free. This is just stupid. Make everything free or make it cost regardless. But now there's the game modes, and oh my gosh, there are so many of them. This is genuinely one of the highlights of this game. You can drive regular street cars, F1, GT3, even WRC, although that sucks because you're still on a normal track. But there's so much to do in this game, and the best part is there's no energy system. That is honestly surprising considering this game is from EA. There was also a NASCAR game mode, but due to licensing issues, they had to remove it from the game. Now you're wondering, hey, how did you get NASCAR in here? Did you think I forgot this was EA? My loyalty is bound to no one. If EA's curious, I got this from a Burger King kids meal. I'll even send a crown pic. Many of these game modes have their own unique quirks, but F1, GT3, and NASCAR have been the most fun for me. These game modes are generally exhilarating and super fun to play. Now I know you're wondering how I'm clapping my opponent's cheeks like it's the night of an NBA All-Star game. And look, I have another confession to make. I suck absolute beaver crack at this game, so I have the assists on. I tried playing with them off, but I kept getting ran off the road and crashing into others, which I'm not gonna lie was pretty funny, but it got annoying after a bit. I'm sure I'll get better at some point though. Maybe. Each game mode will lend you a car out the gate so you can instantly get to playing. There's different tracks with different times of day, which keep things very interesting. And another interesting thing is the computer opponents. So when it comes to the people you race against, it can only go two ways. You either destroy them or they destroy you. I've come to find out that how good I do during the first 30 seconds or first lap determines the entire outcome of the race. If I can end up cutting through everybody during the start, I can pretty much guarantee a win. But if I ram into someone or get knocked off the track, it's going to be incredibly difficult to catch up. So I've had races where I easily land in the top 3 and others where I can't even get past 14th place. There's no difficulty setting, so you just have to deal with this. On top of these game modes, there's tons of seasons and limited time events you can participate in to win a specific car and gain tons of rewards. But if you don't mind dishing out a few coins, there are some microtransactions. But with how easy it is to farm race dollars, it kind of seems pointless to do so, especially since there's so many of them and they're pretty expensive. There's also a post on the wiki talking about how people who paid for gold are given less rewards for watching ads, which if true is absolutely scummy. Going, you paid for gold before, so we will give you less ads just so you can pay for more is absolutely devious. For as great as this game is, you can't forget it's made by EA. On top of that, the amount of pop-up offers I get is incredibly annoying. I mean, every single time I finish a race, I always get a pop-up. And it's always saying something like 200% value, 250% more value. Listen, if you gotta constantly push out offers at insane losses on your end, you either really need the money or you really don't. And considering this is EA, I think we know which one it is. Real Racing 3 is a very toss 'em in the fire type of game. There are so many things to do and it just doesn't tell you how to deal with any of it. You pretty much just have to choose what you want out of the game. If you just want to play F1, you can just do that and have a ton of fun. If you want to 100% everything, you can do that. It's just going to take a while and be very expensive. And if you want to be the best at drag racing, you can do that too, although it's very terrible. But maybe none of it is for you. Maybe you're just looking to have a bunch of cars and race them. You can try to strong arm every single event with one car, but that might be difficult depending on what it is. Or you can travel to Narnia like me and get a special version of this game, because at least on here you can still play NASCAR. You can also still collect some of the cars you don't have, like Joey Logano's. All in all, Real Racing 3 does many things well, but it still may not be for you. If you prefer drag racing or more exciting racing, then this game won't be for you. But if you want a ton of game modes with a ton of cars, with the freedom to do whatever you want, all in one game, then look no further. You just have to find out whether it's for you or not.